Two of the favorites in the conference this year, the Garrett Railroaders, coached by Greg Moe, and the Hornets from Angola High School, coached by Don Harter. Pat Hoffman along with Tim Albert tonight. And Tim, we have a matchup tonight of two teams ranked in the top 10 in their respective classes, and a matchup certainly of two teams physically very strong. Both teams average well over 200 pounds on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Should be a dogfight of a ball game.
Well, Pat, we saw probably one of the best games last week between Leo and Adams Central that we've seen perhaps in 3 years, and I don't look for the game this week between Garrett and Angola to be any less of a game. It's going to be a whale of a matchup. We've had Angola with 2 lopsided victories the last 2 weeks. Garrett running up against a tough DeKalb team, which is maybe 2-3 times its size school-wise, and giving them a whale of a game, and then last week having a lopsided victory of their own. We're looking at a school, very steeped in tradition here at Garrett, with a state championship under their belt, a school that used to play in a conference that was much larger than the conference they're in now, playing schools 2 and 3 times their size, as the same with Angola. They were in the same conference, the NEIAC. And both schools are used to playing teams in the past anyway that are much bigger than they are. And they go about things in a very first-class way. And I think we can expect a first-class ball game tonight by both teams.
Put yourself in the locker rooms of both of these respective ball clubs. Both coaches kind of cut out of the same mold. Very intense individuals, don't like to throw the football too often. For the most part, pretty conservative. In a big ball game like this, what do you expect out of the two coaches?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of a running game, the best of each of their running games. Perhaps we can see maybe a little more passing from Angola, just from what I have seen of them, although they have a little more finesse in their running game, perhaps, than Garrett does. Garrett doesn't make any bones about it. They're going to let you know where they're coming, and they're going to say, here we come, try and stop us. And that's just the philosophy of Coach Moe. And it's a great philosophy. I mean, what more American can you be than here I come, stop me. And, of course, Coach Harter, what a tremendous job he's done up there with Angola in especially the last year, taking them to sectional championship. I believe they won that sectional, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And then doing very well beyond that. I just think we're in for a whale of a game, and each team is going to just be very representative of this conference.
Well, it's only week number 3 of the high school football season, but the enthusiasm on both sides of the football tonight, this well could be the game of the year. Angola and Garrett, 2 ranked teams, coming up next. Northeast Corner Conference football on TV7.
Get ready to save thousands on your...
The Railroaders of Garrett High School and the Hornets of Angola High School. Hello again, everybody. Pat Hoffman along with the coach, Tim Albert. Tonight, a matchup of 2 teams ranked in the top 10 in their respective divisions. The Hornets come in ranked number 6 in Class 3A, and the Railroaders ranked number 10 in Class 2A. Those are both by the coaches poll, the UPI. Set to get this one underway. 2 teams that 1 week ago won handily. Angola beat Fremont 55-0. Garrett beat West Noble 49-0. The opening kick, end over end, a short kick taken at about the 17-yard line. The return man, Army, bringing it up the left side of the field. He's going to be brought down, but it'll be good field position to start the contest for the Angola Hornets, as they will send out that starting offensive unit. And Pat Hoffman along with the coach, Tim Albert. And Tim, we have a matchup of 2 teams that are, by high school standards, huge. We have 229 pounds per man on average on each side of the football as this series gets underway.
Well, that's right, Pat. And we see 2 teams that are going about things as far as a football program in a large, big way. And you can tell that by just looking at the sidelines and their sharp uniforms and the fans that they brought. It's going to be a good game.
First play from scrimmage, handoff to the tailback. That is Michael Berry. Berry will be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Looks to be no gain on that play. Starting lineups in this contest. First of all, the Railroaders. Bo Krebs gets the start at center. Chris Brewster and Norm King are the guards. The tackles, Mark Nagel and Greg Keegan. Tight end is Ben Lash. The split end is the flanker is Nathan Hatton. Split end, Jared Price. The quarterback, Matt Lewis. Rod Julian, the fullback, and Mike Berry, the tailback. We'll go with a full house T backfield this time. 2 tight ends. And it's a handoff to Army. The ball is fumbled in the backfield. The Railroaders, I believe, are on top of the football.
Yes, they do. Well, the first big break of the game, Pat, and it goes to the Railroaders.
And I think that was number 20, Lane Andrews, on top of the football that time. As anytime you go into a big game, Coach, turnovers always play a big key. They played a huge role 1 year ago as Garrett beat Angola 33-12. I think 3 turnovers for the Hornets in the fourth quarter. And now a turnover here at the 10:58 mark. Garrett takes over 1st and 10. First play from scrimmage for the Railroaders. Handoff to Wade Staley. Staley has popped at the line of scrimmage. Both teams will have momentum shifts throughout this contest. Ben Lash, the first man there on the stop. A loss of about a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down, 11 yards for a first. The Railroaders starting this possession at the Angola 36-yard line. 2nd down, 11. The backs are split in the backfield. Quarterback Terry Malcolm sets him down. Back to pass. Rolling out to his left, being pursued. He steps away from the rush. Passes downfield, intended for his tight end that time, Todd Nodine. And thrown a little bit high. Todd couldn't bring it down. It'll be 3rd down. 11 clock stops. We've played less than 2 minutes here in the first quarter already. The fans are into this one. A big crowd on hand for this Northeast Corner Conference showdown.
Well, that was just a little bit uncharacteristic of what we've seen in the last couple of years from Coach Mo, Pat, on a 2nd down using that bootleg pass. That was an outstanding play that time.
3rd down and long. We'll see what the Railroaders go with here. It's a pitch back to Wade Staley. Staley's pursued in the backfield, and the speed of the Hornets evident there. In on the tackle that time, I believe, was Brian King from his defensive end position. King goes 6'5", 195 pounds.
He looks to be very quick out there for his size, Pat.
Coach, this Hornet ball club is dominated by seniors. They have just one non-senior starting on each side of the football.
Well, and they know how to win, too, because they won a lot last year.
So both teams flexing their muscle defensively. On to punt. Thrush gets this one away. A very short kick. A fair catch being called for at the 25-yard line. And then he's going to be tackled after clearly calling for that fair catch. So a penalty will be tacked on for the Railroaders. And that'll help the Hornets with their field position. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. We'll be right back.
The First National Bank of Fremont offers a glimpse into the past with its American heritage decor and warm, friendly service. Locally owned and operated, the First National Bank of Fremont is committed to the future of its customers and the Steuben County area. With 5 convenient offices, it's easy to get your full-service banking whenever you need it. Visit the First National Bank of Fremont and take a step into the past while planning for your future. Offices in Angola, Fremont, Orland, and Ashley Hudson. Member FDIC and an equal opportunity lender.
Penalty tacked on against the Railroaders was a 15-yarder after calling for the fair catch, and now the referee will...
Somebody's lined up off sides, I believe, Pat, in the neutral zone there, probably the defense.
Probably ought to explain things. It's a rather crowded press box here at Garrett High School with WLKI Radio here doing the contest along with ourselves from TV7. I am in the press box. My cohort, the coach, is standing outside. We've got a microphone right
now. And it's raining and snowing out here, and I'm just really having a miserable time.
Now that is a flat-out lie. It's a gorgeous night for high school football.
That's right.
5 yards stepped off against the Railroaders. It's a handoff in the backfield, stuffed. And coming up from his linebacker position, didn't even have to see the number of that young man. I knew just by the type of tackle it was that it was number 64, John Perry.
That's right.
He just explodes from that linebacker position. Led the Railroaders in tackles a year ago.
We saw a lot of that last year, Pat.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. A gain of a loss of 3 on that play. I should say there was the penalty. Looked to be some movement on the line of scrimmage, but apparently not before the snap. A handoff up the middle, and there'll be a gain of about 2 on the play.
Well, so far, all we've seen are just a straight T backfield and 2 tight ends from Angola. They seem to be putting all the confidence right now into the running game and are not widening the field any, but are moving the ball.
Power I formation for the Hornets. It's going to be a handoff to the tailback. That is Mike Berry. We've got a penalty flag thrown in the backfield. Berry has stopped shy of the first down.
I think we have a little offensive movement there, Pat.
Mike Berry, the ball carrier for Angola.
And you are exactly right, as you almost always are, Coach.
Well,
With this quick break in the action gives us a chance to set that lineup for the Railroaders defensively. On the line of scrimmage, the rush end is Jeremy Demvicki. Chad Harshman and John Hall are the tackles. Sean Hunter is the nose tackle. Hall, the biggest of the bunch at 6'4", 285. The others no slouches at 215, 235, and 180 respectively. The linebackers are John Perry, Bob Lapadot, and Todd Nodine. And the defensive backs, Terry Malcolm and Adam Sadison on the corners. Drew Worsler and Lane Andrews, the man who recovered the fumble, are the safeties. It'll be third down, 9 yards to go. Backs are split in the backfield, go with a pro set. Hand off to Rod Julian running left, and Julian's going to be stuffed up by the Railroaders. Again, their first on the tackle was John Perry. And, Coach, right now we're early on in the contest. Both teams have scored a lot of points, especially last week, but both teams are very strong defensively, and in a big game, probably a low-scoring game is more likely than a high-scoring contest.
Well, number one, I think, Pat, that they are evenly matched. Number two, I'm very impressed right now with Garrett's reaction on defense to any kind of motion coming their way. They come up and support very, very quickly.
Dangerous return man is Todd Sadison. Julian gets the punt away. It's a good punt. Good hang time. Sadison takes it at his own 23-yard line. Cuts around one runner at the left, but good pursuit by the Hornets as Nathan Hatton, the man down there to make the tackle. Change in possessions. We'll take a 30-second timeout, and we'll be right back.
When it's time for a new TV or appliance, see the professionals at Sanborn's TV and Appliance. You'll find 18 major brands of TVs and appliances to choose from, and people who really want to help you find what you need. Maytag, Amana, GE, RCA, and more. As the area's largest independent TV and appliance store, with over 22 years in business, Sanborn's has thousands of satisfied customers. Sanborn's will stand behind the products with their own in-house service department. So let Sanborn's help you save money today.
The teams change possessions very quickly. The first play for the Railroaders, a short gain by Jim Klein, the fullback. Railroaders starting at their own 31-yard line. And it'll be second down and about 7 yards for a first. And Klein on the carry again, and Klein with second effort will be have enough yardage for the first down, it appears.
Well, Garrett is attacking that defense exactly where you have to attack it to be successful, right up the middle. It's that split six defense left over from the Tom Saylor era that he ran at Hudson, Michigan when he was had the nation's longest winning streak several years ago.
Quarterback Terry Malcolm hands it off again to Klein. Third straight carry for him, and Klein is going to be brought down by the defensive end, Brian King. 1 week ago, Klein had 12 rushes for 157 yards. His running mate, Wade Staley, had a big ball game as well. 15 carries for 114 yards. We had some very gaudy rushing numbers for both of these ball clubs. It'll be tested by two fine defenses tonight. No gain on the play, second down and 10. Staley on the carry this time, running on the right side of the line of scrimmage. He's met by a host of Railroaders. Ellison was there, and couldn't quite see who else. Looked like Ben Lash, perhaps. Gain of about 2. It'll bring up third down, about 8 yards to go for a first down. Ball resting at the 46-yard line, and Coach, this field is in immaculate condition. John Hutton has done another outstanding job. It's kind of getting old hat to say that, but every time we come here, the place just looks outstanding.
You're going to have to go a long way to find a better field.
Putting up the pass, it's complete to Adam Sadison. Sadison has a first down into Hornet territory. He's brought down at the 40-yard line.
Well, that's good to see from the Garrett perspective, Pat.
Coach, I think we had a different quarterback in there on that play. I think Worsler may have thrown that pass. I saw Malcolm come in off the sideline. I didn't check if it was 12 or 15 that threw that ball. We'll have to check on that.
I guess I think you could be right.
Hand off to Wade Staley. Staley breaks a tackle, and he's hit from behind by Ellison. But a good charge by the line of scrimmage by the Railroaders' right side. And a nice gain on the play of about 6 yards or so. It'll be second down and 4. The Railroaders on their second offensive possession of the contest.
Garrett's doing a good job right now, Pat, of mixing it up and keeping Angola just a little bit off balance as to what they're going to run.
Scott Hoover out to the left, Phil Reinl to the right. It's a handoff instead to the fullback. Klein breaks another tackle. We're seeing the Railroader running backs, Coach, breaking that initial tackle by the Hornets.
Yes, that's true. They're getting that good initial hit on the line of scrimmage, and then they're sustaining that block to the point where they can keep them from, bringing their offensive back down.
Garrett picks up their third first down. They are on a march right now. The ball resting at the 25-yard line. First down and 10. Malcolm sets him down. Two-step drop back. He's hit from behind. The ball is loose, but the referee saying he was in the motion throwing the football. As coming in, I believe, again, Coach, with Brian King, and we've called his name several times in just the first 8 minutes of this ball game, playing a heck of a ball game.
Well, it's a very aggressive defense by Angola, and they're doing a very good job with it. The only thing that they're doing perhaps is over-pursuing just a little bit, allowing Garrett to, get between the rhythms there just a little on the line.
King had to be very quick on that play because Malcolm took just a two-step drop.
Yes, that's right.
Second down long. It's Klein straight up the gut. He's still on his feet. And then a swarm of Hornets on him. Ben Lash, the first man there. And then he had help from Julian along with Mike Berry, as well as a couple of other teammates. But again, Coach, the strong legwork of Jim Klein is certainly looking strong right now.
Well, he's a striding type runner, but a very powerful runner nonetheless, and he's very deceptively quick.
Third down and 5. It's a pitch to Wade Staley. He's got Klein in front of him. Klein with a good block, and Staley is going to be brought down inbounds inside at about the 15-yard line. All the way across the field from the flag sticks as far as whether or not it's a first down. It appears that it is, and yes, indeed, the referee signals that, and it is a Garrett first down. First down and 10 at about the 14-yard line.
Well, again, they're mixing it up very well. That's the first time we've seen the option. Coach Moe's really mixing it up in there.
Garrett offensive line with a good surge. Handoff to Staley, and Staley fighting for just a couple. Good job by the Hornets in pursuit that time. That offensive line for the Railroaders, Jeremy Dembicki, the starting center. The two guards are Chad Harshman and John Perry. Bob Lapadot and Big John Hall are the tackles. Jake Spies, the tight end. Scott Hoover is the split end. Phil Reinl, the flanker. Terry Malcolm, Jim Klein, and Wade Staley in the backfield. It's going to be Klein again, and Klein is going to be met that time. Mike Berry along with Rod Julian on the tackle that time for the Angola Hornets. We'll bring up a big play, Coach. Third down and, looks like about 7 yards to go. The ball is at the 12-yard line.
Well, right now, Pat, you got to go with a goal line type offense because that's exactly the type of defense you're facing.
Adam Sadison comes into the ball game. He's split to the left. Staley and Klein in the backfield. Malcolm, option right, pitches back to Staley. Klein is the blocker. Staley's going to be stopped very close to a first down, but I think he's going to be a little bit shy.
I don't know, Pat. I think he might have gotten it.
On the far side of the field, apparently he got enough. I knew it was right around the stick. That is 5 first downs on this march for the Railroaders. First down, goal to goal inside the 5.
That was good thinking there. You make it work on your left, you come back and use it on your right.
This drive started at the Garrett 31-yard line. It has progressed to the Hornet 4-yard line. Angola will take a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well, Coach. We'll be right back.
Today, more than ever, it's important that you get the Convacare story before you rent or buy hospital equipment to use in your home. Recent changes in Medicare regulations will affect you and your loved ones, so let our home care consultants help. We'll file your claims promptly and accurately, assuring that you receive maximum benefits from your health insurance program. Call or visit one of these healthcare consultants today.
Visit Crowlister Pharmacy on the public square today.
Don Harter has called a timeout, and his defensive coordinator out there talking to the Angola Hornets right now. Greg Moe talking to the Garrett Railroaders. First down, goal to goal. The ball inside the 5-yard line. This drive began, Coach, at the 31-yard line for Garrett. Unofficially, they picked up 5 downs, 9 running plays, 2 passes on my stat sheet so far in this drive. It's taken up a good piece of time as well.
Yes, it has, and it's been a very good sustained drive. There's this quarterback sneak.
Tee straight ahead is Terry Malcolm. He'll pick up perhaps a little over a yard. Malcolm has scored a couple of touchdowns so far on the season. 3 touchdowns rushing, to be exact. 2 of them last week.
Well, don't be too surprised.
Don't
be too surprised to see that come right back.
Well, if you recall the ball game 2 years ago, we'll touch on that in a sec. Malcolm barks him out. Instead, Wade Staley, the right side, and no signal by the referee. He's going to be very close. It'll be 3rd down, goal to goal at about, what about the 1?
Yeah.
That ball game 2 years ago, Coach, we did it on TV7. Garrett, Angola. Quarterback Ty Maggart carried the ball 26 times. I remember that ball game well. Let's see what goes here. It's going to be a fake, a play-action pass put up in the end zone. It's going to be intercepted. It is picked off, intended for the tight end, but Jared Price stepped in front.
Well, it was a good call, Pat, because the man was open. He just underthrew him just a little bit and allowed the defender to get in there. But that was a good call in that situation.
Well, certainly had to be in the surprise package. Coach Moe usually does not throw the football.
Yes. And it was a great job by the defensive back.
So the Hornets come up with the big defensive play. They'll put it in play 1st and 10 at their own 20. Garrett with a 14-play drive that time, stopping at the 1-yard line with the interception. Silences this large railroader crowd. Both teams represented very well here tonight. Quarterback Matt Lewis sets him down, and it's a handoff to Mike Berry. Berry runs into his fullback. Whoa, we've got some ferocious hitting going down there.
We sure do.
Number 66 for the Hornets, really putting a pop. That is Bo Krebs, and that Krebs name is a name we've been calling for years up in Angola. Good athletes, and Krebs goes 6 feet 245, and I guarantee you Drew Worsler knows his name. Power I formation, handoff fullback Julian with good speed straight up the middle will pick up a 1st down for the Angola Hornets. Julian, the talented fullback. On the year, Julian coming in and rushed for 86 yards, averages over 6.5 yards a carry. Mike Berry, the big runner, averaging 14.8 yards of rushing attempts so far in this young season.
That's unreal.
Handoff to Nate Hatton. Hatton cuts around the left side. He's going to be tripped up by Drew Worsler. But looks like it's going to be another 1st down for the Angola Hornets.
Well, that full house tee that Angola runs is really a throwback to an old era of football. You could almost convert it from the old single wing into a T formation, and it's one of the first T formations you've ever seen in football.
Tailback is Mike Berry. Berry takes the handoff, and he's met by Bob Lapidot and then stuck by Lane Andrews. Lapidot held him up. Landrews put him down. Absolutely a gorgeous night for high school football tonight. Couldn't ask for anything better than what we're seeing tonight. And the crisp, hard-hitting action fitting of this weather that we have here tonight. It's getting a little bit cool, but coaches love it, players love it. I think you and I won't complain, Tim.
No, this is a lot better than the heat. A lot better than the rain.
We've got a timeout in action. We'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back.
If you improved your water with a Connecticut water plant, you would find purer water. No chlorine taste, additional water quality protection, year-round refreshing water, taste and odor-free water, clean sparkling sinks, no bathtub ring, clearer ice cubes, greater convenience, less soap is needed, cleaner showers and tubs, no bottles of recycled, great tasting ice cubes, luxurious personal care, readily available drinking water, water you can enjoy, savings on cleaners, no heavy bottles, cleaner, brighter laundry, softer hair. You can experience so many benefits with a Connecticut water plant. We'll have to hurry before we get...
For all your soft water supplies, call Do More Water Systems.
We welcome you back to Garrett High School. Pat Alford along with Tim Albert tonight. First quarter, really not a whole lot of surprises, Coach. We expected that both teams would try and run the football, and both teams have put together one drive apiece, but we also knew that both teams had outstanding defenses, and usually a good defense wins out over a good offense.
Well, what we're starting to see now, Pat, is some good execution by their offenses. Oh, here we have something new, triplets here by Angola.
On the left side, and instead it's a handoff to the running back, and that is Rod Julian, the lone setback that time, and Julian with a nice hunk of real estate on the left side, brought down by John Perry and Bob Lapadot, and it is enough for another first down. That is the third first down on this drive for the Hornets. Started at their own 20-yard line. They're now at the Garrett 45.
Well, Angola has a big bag of tricks also. You can certainly tell that they have a diversified offense. They start out in that power, kind of lull you to sleep, and with that straight T, and then they run various formations beyond that.
Matt Lewis looks over the defense, and he's going to fake the handoff, back to pass, puts this one up downfield. Ben Lash up, cannot make the catch. Pass thrown a little bit high. Adam Sadison there defensively, along with Drew Worsler for the Garrett Railroaders. Lash is the big play receiver for the Hornets this year. 4 catches, 104 yards, 2 of those 4 for touchdowns, averaging 26 yards a grab. Center Bo Krebs breaks the huddle for the Angola Hornets. Second down, 10 yards to go. Full house T in the backfield. Lewis will hand it up to Barry. The ball is loose. Barry will get on the football. Bob Lapadot in there to down Barry that time. Barry, for a moment there, Coach, looked like he was going to pick it up and run with it.
Yeah. That's something I think that we probably didn't expect to see too much of. The fact that these kids mostly have played together now for at least 2 years, and they know that offense very well. So I wouldn't think that we'd see too much of that tonight, but that's the I guess that first fumble was caused by a pop in there by the Garrett defense.
Keep your eye on Ben Lash and Nate Hatton. Back to pass is Lewis. Penalty flag down. Pass is going to be intercepted by Drew Worsler on the left sideline. Worsler will have the ball, bring it up to the Garrett 49. Let's check the penalty call here by the referees. It's going to go against the Hornets, so it will be a turnover. Holding is the call against Angola, and the Railroaders with an interception of their own, Drew Worsler. So Worsler with the interception, and Garrett will put it in play at their own 49. Both teams have had one good drive, Coach. The Hornets had 3 first downs on that possession. Garrett on their previous possession took the ball all the way to the Angola 1, picked up 5 first downs. So we're seeing the defenses loosen a little bit, but bend but don't break.
Yes, that's exactly right.
First and 10 Railroaders. Klein and Staley in the backfield. Pass in the flat is complete. And on the receiving end that time is Brent Burniston. Burniston, a sophomore. And that's a play, Coach, I think that the Railroaders may be able to pass out of, have a second pass, because Burniston is a second-string quarterback.
That's what they're doing, is setting that play up for later on a double pass.
I have to mention Burniston was talking to his dad earlier, big Michigan fan. Had to get that in, Coach. And it's a handoff. Klein busts through, still on his feet before he's brought down by Nate Hatton. Jim Klein, Coach, he's fun to watch. He has those high-striding legs.
He sure does. He is through that line before you can blink, Pat. I don't know where he gets his quickness from with his long legs. He's a strider, but he is so smooth in there. He's just a fun kid to watch.
Rushed for 157 yards last week. And it's going to be Klein again, straight up the middle. And fighting for some yardage there. The ball is loose. The Hornets saying they have it. Referees are going to unpile things. No signal yet from them. And they say no. They say that the Railroaders, nope, they did say it is turnover.
I believe it's going to switch.
So the Hornets will take over possession. The fourth turnover in this ball game, Coach.
Well, you've got a lot of excitement, a lot of adrenaline flowing. Everybody wants to give it that second effort, and many times that's when mistakes happen. So both teams just need to settle down just a little bit and run the things that they know how to do well.
So the Hornets put it in play, 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. That full house backfield. It's going to be Mike Berry. Berry to the outside. He has excellent speed. Tripped for a moment, then brought down by Drew Worsler, a gain of about 5. Berry had a run earlier this year, Coach, in the first game of the season, set a school record. Not exactly sure how long it was. It was over 95 yards.
Wow.
That was against the Fairfield Falcons. He picked up 5 that time.
On the films that I've seen of them, they have a lot of speed back there.
And they have several running backs. They have a bevy of runners they can bring in there. And they don't lose too much with any of them. 2nd down, 5 yards to go. And they, let's see, Julian with the tackle at the excellent play fake by the quarterback, Matt Lewis.
Great second effort in there by Julian. He broke 2 or 3, maybe 4 tackles in there. That was an outstanding individual effort.
I went along with Mike Berry, the tailback, that time, and the handoff went to Rod Julian. Julian picks up about 10 yards. It'll be enough for a 1st down. They're in the Garrett territory. The Hornets at the 49-yard line. Hard-hitting football game. Keep it in that full house team. Matt Lewis checking out the defense, barks out the signals. And it is Nate Hatton on the carry. Hatton with some good real estate on the right side before he's brought down. Looked like Worsler perhaps coming up for the first hit.
Well, that straight T defense offense, the way they're running it, Pat, like I said, is a throwback to almost the old spinner series and the single wing. It looks like it's going to be a powerful type offense where you're going to do a lot of isolation and so forth. But there actually have a lot of misdirection and a lot of deceit in there to the defense.
And it's a handoff to the fullback that time.
We're having trouble picking up where the ball's at.
And Julian on the carry that time. He was hit hard. Didn't see the number of the railroader that hit him that time.
The one thing I like about that offense is that when you coach it, you have to teach your quarterback to carry through the fakes. And what that does is isolates and freezes all those linebackers until they have to stay home and make sure their area doesn't have the ball coming to it.
3rd and long, 2. Rod Julian has the 1st down and then some. Lane Andrews, the first man there defensively. John Perry and Bob Lapidot in there as well. 1st down, Hornets.
That was a version right there of the old spinner series out of the single wing. Quarterback pivoted 360 degrees and then handed off to the fullback on a delay.
7:20 to play here in the first half. We've seen 4 turnovers so far in this ball game. 2 for each team. Quarterback Lewis sets him down. Mike Berry stuffed in the backfield. Jeremy Dembicki in there from that rush end position. And Dembicki goes 6'3", 215 pounds, and Berry stopped for a loss of about 3 on that play.
Garrett did the best thing they could that time against an offense like this, and that's stop it before it gets started. They penetrated that line of scrimmage, got into their secondary, into the backfield, and they just stopped it before it even hit the line of scrimmage.
2nd down, 13 to go. The ball at the 38-yard line. And Lewis hands it off to Berry. Berry, without much room, will get back to about the original line of scrimmage or so. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. Looks like about, I guess he got about 5 that time. It'll be 3rd down and 8. In case you've just joined us, it's been a hard-hitting contest. Both teams have moved the ball offensively, but have been stymied by some turnovers. And the other defense is coming up with a big play at the big time. Nodine checks out of the contest. Travis Andrews into the ball game for the Railroaders. Big play call here. 3rd down and 8. The ball just inside the 35-yard line. Price out to the right. Tight end on the left side. Sweep play to the right. Mike Berry is going to be knocked out of bounds. Looks to be shy of the 1st down. Hard to tell where he went out of bounds over there. He ended up right around where the flag was, but I believe he was out of bounds prior to reaching that point. We'll have to see where they spot it. Looks like it's going to bring up a 4th down and about 2. 8 running plays on this drive so far for the Hornets. They will go for it on 4th down. Railroaders have to be careful, Coach, not to jump off sides.
Yes, that's right.
Big play here, 4th down and short. Lewis, hand off. Julian, fullback, has the first down. Rod Julian on the carry, picks up the first down.
64 carry there for Garrett. It's an
3rd first down on this drive. They're grinding it out.
Well, this is basically what Garrett did to them when they were stopped with that interception down on the 1-yard line.
The Railroaders will call a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. There is no score. The Railroaders and the Hornets in a battle. Don't you go away. We're back in 30 seconds. Progress right now. They've picked up 3 first downs. They started at their own 34. They have progressed it to the Garrett 25. They just picked up a first down on a 4th down play call to Rod Julian. It'll be first down and 10 at the 25-yard line. Nate Hatton splits out to the left. On the right side, it's Jared Price. The tight end on the left is Ben Lash. Quarterback Lewis, pitch back to Mike Berry. Julian, the lead block. And it's going to be a nice run for the Hornets inside the 20. And pick up about 7 or 8 yards on that play by Mike Berry.
Also, Horsler and Lebanon there.
Well, once again, that time we saw a mix-up with the play calling by Angola. We had an I formation, and they're just running a lot of different things.
Ball at the 18, backs in the I formation this time. And it's again a sweep play to Berry. Berry's going to go down the right sideline into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, that's the same thing they just ran, Pat, and they saw something there, and they came right back with the same exact play. And that time, I don't think anybody touched him.
First score of the football game comes at the 5:31 mark of the 2nd quarter. Unofficially, an 18-yard touchdown run by Mike Berry, as Berry scores his 5th touchdown of the year. And the Hornets let some balloons fly across the way. So they are on the scoreboard first. Hatton to hold, and the kick is up. It is good. As Schmidtman on the kick hits the PAT, and it's 7-0 Angola. We're back in 30 seconds.
Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, Buick, Pontiac, Cadillac, Geo, and
Hornets, very impressive, Coach.
Yes, it certainly was. That was, even though they had a split end on that, Pat, they pulled at least one guard, maybe both guards. That was a power sweep all the way. They had the backs leading, and I mean, he was coming around there with some authority.
Ben Lash to do the kickoff. Back deep is Lane Andrews and Drew Worsler. We'll see how the Railroaders respond. They have 5 minutes and 31 seconds here in the first half to do something. Lash on the run up, and he puts the toe to it. It's headed for Worsler. He takes it at the 12. Return set up on the right side. Worsler is going to be knocked to the deck at about the 28-yard line or so. Defensively in there for the Hornets, I think David Petrus. The Railroaders will put it in play first and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
Well, that was a very big psychological thing for Angola to score first after what happened last year. And I think Garrett has got their work cut out for him at this point.
It's a handoff to Jim Klein. It's been a very even Steuben contest so far.
Yes, it really has. But the one thing that hurts is that Garrett did not score on the 1-yard line. And
that's exactly right, because both teams have moved the ball pretty good, but especially one drive each, Coach. The Railroaders had a 14-play, 69-yard drive down to the 1, then the interception in the end zone. The Hornets, 11 plays all on the ground, spanning 66 yards for their drive.
Well, they both did what they do the best.
It's a pitch back to Saylor, reverse. It is Worsler on it. Worsler has plenty of running room around the left side. Worsler, he's knocked out of bounds. Who got him over there? Sutton, the only non-senior. Number 22, Todd Sutton, saved a touchdown for the Hornets.
Boy, this is the kind of football you like to see. I mean, they're just running plays that you saw 25 years ago, you know.
Well, these coaches were, I think that's what they like, Coach. It's kind of like Woody and Bo, sort of, you know.
It's great football.
Well, a flag all the way back at the 30. See if there's a clip or what the situation is. Holding against Garrett.
Oh, boy.
Going to nullify the play. They're talking to Rod Julian. And Railroader fans will voice their disapproval. And Julian telling them to step it off. They never did move the chain, so
it must have been pretty obvious over there. Maybe we'll pick it up in the replay.
So they're going to step it back. It's going to cost the Railroaders quite a bit of yardage because it was a gain of about 25 yards or so in that neighborhood.
It was very well executed. They had the whole defense moving to their right, to the offensive right. And then,
well, it's going to be a 10-yard penalty, Coach, but it costs them a lot more than 10 yards.
Yeah, sure
in the long run, taking away the play costs them about 35 or so. Second down, 32.
Draw.
And that is Wade Staley, and Staley is going to be brought down at about the 26, back near the original line of scrimmage.
Well, they got a few back.
Stopped by Barry in Angola.
Several substitutes coming into the ball game for the Railroaders. 4 new players shuttle in.
Barrett will be second and about 13.
Second down, or third down, I should say, and about 13 yards to go for first. Malcolm, 2-pass, looking downfield. He tucks it away. He's going to run with it. He's still on his feet, and Malcolm is going to have a first down for the Railroaders.
That was a great play, Pat. He escaped about 3 or 4 people that wanted to put him down.
I don't think they ever touched him, but it looked like they were going.
Oh, my. It looked like he was going to go down at any time, but he just escaped them.
It looked like they were going to get an ankle tackle.
Yeah.
And they just missed him.
He's very elusive out there.
Jared Price and Nate Hatton, I believe, the 2 players forcing him out of downs. But a big first down for the Railroaders. They have it at their own 41-yard line. Adam Sadison out to the right. Terry Malcolm checks out the defense. Back to pass, looking downfield, throwing for Sadison. Sadison is open. He makes the catch. And he's going to be down at about the 16-yard line.
Did you see
Sadison on the grab.
Did you see the spiral on that ball, Pat? That was a nice-looking pass for a high school kid.
Malcolm was the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year 1 year ago. He was replaced at quarterback, earned the starting job again this year, and I don't think he's going to give it up this time, Coach.
Boy, that was just great. Great deception up on the line of scrimmage in the first place to get, who was it that caught the ball?
Adam
Sadison, yes, get him open that far.
And it is Jim Klein with second effort, picking up a couple of yards. Unofficially on that pass play, Coach, about 43 yards to Adam Sadison.
That was a nice-looking play.
Klein on the carry, picked up about 3. Second down, 7. 3:23 to go. Scoreboard right now on here at the Railroader Field says 77-0. Oh, Klein is going to be stuffed in the backfield. And a penalty flag thrown. Who was that initial man there? Looked like Nagel, perhaps. I think 71.
Yes. And then 56 came in with a late hit, I believe.
Mark Nagel, don't want to discredit him at all on that play because he made a dynamite play and then the late hit.
Yeah, I believe he had a stun on, or I don't know, either that or somebody didn't make their block at all on the offensive line.
3 minutes and 9 seconds to go. The officials talking with Captain Bob Lapidat. There was a loss on the play. They're going to step it off from right at the 20.
Well, that's going to put them down there.
Right at the 10. Should be an automatic first down.
I don't think so.
I thought a personal foul. But
let's see.
Apparently not. Right now it shows second down and about 2 yards to go. The ball just inside the 10. The referee's talking with Coach Don Harter. Don does not look at all pleased. Now the referee's discussing further. 7-0 Hornets. 3:09 to play in the first half. A lot of ball game to be played. The clock begins to tick again. Full house backfield for the Railroaders. And the Hornets jumped. Did the Railroaders draw them? I don't think so.
I think that'll be a first down.
Well, Coach Mo is a master at teaching his quarterbacks to do that, Coach.
Yes, he is.
We've been watching him since he's been here. This is his 4th year. And doesn't matter who the quarterback is that he's had. Maggart was very good at it. Malcolm has done it well. Worsler a year ago did it well.
And that was great timing to where it came that time, too.
Keep it in that full house backfield. First down, goal to goal. Handoff to Wade Staley. Staley is close to pay dirt. Inside the hash mark there, which is for the extra point. Ball at about the 2-yard line. Second down, goal to goal. Straight ahead, the quarterback, Malcolm.
I don't believe he got in.
And he's not quite in. The big play on this drive was a 43-yard pass play to Sadison. Well, Coach, you think he'll throw the football?
I don't think so.
And Malcolm straight ahead. Is he? No signal yet. Look like the knee hit down. It's going to be a crucial play. It'll be 4th down.
He's going to have to put that ball across the plane and break that imaginary plane to get the referee to call it for him.
Well, if the Hornets turn the Railroaders away here, the ball, oh my goodness, I've got my binoculars right on it. It's just shy of the goal line. See if Malcolm goes straight ahead. No, it is Staley, touchdown. They went with a quarterback sneak 2 consecutive times. This time they gave it to number 7, Wade Staley. And the Railroaders answered the touchdown by the Hornets with a 71-yard drive of their own. Took them 9 plays to cover those 71 yards. And 1 yard officially for Staley on the TD. Comes at the 135 mark. Railroaders have all kind of trouble last week with the point after, and this one's going to be bobbled, and this is going to be no good. 1 week ago, Coach, the Railroaders scored 8 touchdowns. They converted only 1 extra point. It doesn't matter much in a 49-0 ball game.
That's true.
But in a game such as this,
could mean
we'll have
everything.
to wait and see. I was just reading in the newspaper today about the matchup tonight between South Adams and Heritage. And
yes.
The matchup a year ago was won by South Adams 20-19. Difference in that ball game, Heritage missed 2 point afters.
Yep.
Still a lot of ball game to go. We'll have to wait and see.
It's the little things that count, Pat. And coaches, try to drive that home to their kids. I know that means everything sometimes.
Well, Coach Mo has to be pleased with the way his ball club responded after the Angola touchdown. They took the ball and marched it 71 yards themselves to answer with a touchdown at the 135 mark.
Yes, that's right. And in actuality, that could very well have been their second score.
Back deep for the return will be Army and Sutton. Clausen will kick it off for the Railroaders. The missed point after has kind of silenced this crowd, which has been very vocal for both sides. The ball teed up at the 40-yard line. And Clausen puts the toe into this one. It's going to be a very short kick. Taken right at the 20 by Sutton. Sutton shakes one tackler, can't shake the second. The Hornets will have it 1st and 10 at about their 32 or 33-yard line.
Stopped in there by number 80, Rhinell, Garrett.
Bill Rhinell on the tackle that time.
33-yard line.
The field is in great shape. Everything looks fantastic here, Coach. The only problem they're having here is a little problem with the scoreboard. 71 minutes, 27 seconds to go.
77-6.
Yeah, home team's in trouble here. Let's see how the Hornets elect to play it. Mike Berry on the carry. You know, you might say that's a conservative play, Coach, but when you have a player like Berry, he comes in averaging 14.8 a carry, so he's potentially a touchdown every time he touches the ball.
That's exactly right, and he was only one defensive person away from breaking that one.
Gain of about 9 yards on the play, second down and a yard to go. Full house backfield for the Angola Hornets, and handoff again, I believe, is Berry, and a first down.
Now, believe it or
football the way it's supposed to be played tonight.
Believe it or not, I don't want to dredge up old memories here for the old Railroader fans, but I remember back in 1966.
I was born in that year, Tim.
I know. 1 year after Garrett had an undefeated season, they had an open spot on their schedule. They played Marion High School, and that scoreboard said 67-0. I don't think they wanted to play down there again.
Rod Julian running to the right. He's going to be hit and brought down on the tackle that time, I believe, was Andrews. Travis and Lane both over there. Travis, I think, gets credit for the tackle that time. 19 seconds to play. We will take a 30-second timeout as we have a timeout in action right now. The Hornets 7, the Railroaders 6. We'll be right back.
If your car is in an accident and you have Allstate insurance, you can leave it in our hands. Allstate's recommended pro shops can do everything, including the estimate, in one stop. Allstate will guarantee their workmanship for as long as you own your car. Now, be careful. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Let Allstate agents Dick Hickman and Kim Tubergen of Jacob Insurance help you with your insurance decisions. Give them a call at 665-3194.
Well, this football game has been just about what everybody expected, Coach. 7-6 is our score. The only difference in the contest is a missed extra point. Hornets on top right now by a point. They have the ball at the Garrett 46. They have 19 seconds on the first half clock.
Well, it's been a rock'em sock'em football game.
Pair of receivers on the right side. Lone setback is Julian, and they see something they don't like, and
I think they're missing one person.
Called a timeout. The penalty flag thrown before the timeout.
I think they only had 10 players.
Plus, they took too long. They probably don't want the timeout then. They'll just take the penalty. Keep the same play call. And it's a draw play to Julian, and the Railroaders not fooled by that. We'll see if that is the final play of the first half. Appears like they will just let the clock run down. The first half is history and a dogfight of a football game. The Hornets 7, the Railroaders 6. Homecoming contest for the Garrett Railroaders. Second half action coming your way next on Northeast Corner Conference Football on TV7. The Hornets on top right now by a single point, 7-6. Quickly, some stats on the contest in the first half. Running the football, the Hornets 26 carries, 93 yards. The Railroaders 25 rushes for 81 yards. Passing the football, the Hornets yet to complete a pass, 0 out of 2. The Railroaders 3 out of 6 for 55 yards. So the Railroaders a little bit more total offense. The Hornets a little more rushing yardage. And the kick, we've got a penalty flag thrown on the kick, perhaps one of the Hornets offsides, Coach.
Yes, I think that's what it was. He was just a little bit ahead of the kicker.
Well, we want to mention at halftime there was a new king and queen crown for the homecoming here at Garrett High School. Miss Sherry Solga and Adam Sadison. So Adam, the man who caught that 43-yard pass in the first half, was not present when that was crowned. He was in the locker room, but someone standing in for him accepted it for him, and he can enjoy that after the football game. The Hornets were indeed offsides. They will kick it off again from their own 35-yard line.
Well, this should give Garrett pretty good field position, Pat.
Ben Lash to put the toe to it. And he kicks this one, an end-over-end kick taken at the 14-yard line. And the return on the left side and over the 40 and still fighting for extra yardage. Tim Smith, a young sophomore coach, on the return that time. First time we've called his name. And first time we call his name, he does something good. So the Railroaders will indeed have excellent field position. They'll put it in play 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line.
That young man looked like he wanted to play.
Only goes 160 pounds, but can't measure a person's heart by their weight. 1st down and 10. We'll see if the team's made many adjustments. Hand off to the fullback. Klein dives for about 3 or 4. Well, Coach, assessing that first half of play, first of all, from the Hornets' perspective, what do you think Coach Harter had to talk about at halftime?
Well, I would say that they have to look at Garrett from the standpoint of they're not doing everything that they perhaps thought they would. They're a little more versatile with the passing game than perhaps they anticipated. So they're going to have to be aware of that. Right there's another thing they're going to have to be aware of.
Wade Staley on the option pitch. Staley is going to be knocked down by Todd Sutton. He picks up big yardage down to about the 31-yard line.
And evidently he didn't say enough about that particular play, because that's about at least the 3rd time that they've run it, and I think they've been pretty successful every time.
Well, both teams run that play well, Coach.
Yes, they do. They really do. I would have to say that you just got to go out there and play your best football, fellas, you know, if they're my kids.
Hand off to Klein. Klein through a hole, brought down by Ben Lash. The ball is loose, but the referee says it was caused by the ground. I have to agree with him on that one.
Yeah.
But Klein burst through that line of scrimmage, picked up 7 or 8 yards, about 8 on that play.
I don't think either team, Pat, at halftime had a lot to say about things that they did wrong. You know, you have to stop a few mistakes like the fumbles, but gosh, they played such hard football.
It is Klein again straight ahead, and a big pile-up of humanity that time. He only needed a couple for the first down. And with all those people around there, we'll have to see where they spotted about a yard shy. So at the 23, only scoring in that first half, Mike Berry, an 18-yard run at the 5:31 mark of the 2nd quarter. Point after by Schmidtman was good. The Railroaders answered at the 1:35 mark as they go for the first down there. Looks like it will be enough as Malcolm keeps it himself. And it is indeed a Railroader first down. We mentioned Barry on the touchdown, and then Wade Staley on a 4th and goal play from about a foot out. Took it in, but the point after was no good. Railroaders threatening here early on in the second half. Sadison out to the left. Malcolm pitch back to Staley. He's got a good blocker in front of him. Staley cuts it back against the grain. Good pursuit laterally by the linebackers for the Hornets. Sutton, I believe, credited with the tackle that time. Gain of about 3 or 4, but for a moment there, Coach, it looked like it was going to be a big gainer.
Yes, it did. Klein missed his block. It looked like he was going to really have a good block, and then he just happened to miss the kid.
And handoff fullback straight ahead. No room there for Klein to run that time. That left side of the defensive line sealed things off for the Hornets. Got about a yard on the play. 3rd down and 5.
I'd like to see Klein out in the open like that one time with the ball running in that tailback's position and on the perimeter.
And Terry Malcolm, option right. He pitches it back to Staley. Staley dives. Well, still on his feet. Thought he was going to dive there for a second. Spoke too soon. Let's see where they spot it. He went out of bounds right by that stick. It will be a first down for the Railroaders. Wade Staley, very quick, Coach.
Yes, he sure is. It's pretty apparent what Garrett is doing. At halftime, evidently, they said, we're going to hit him up the middle, then we're going to hit him on the outside. Hit up the middle and then the outside. And that's exactly what they've done. We haven't seen any off tackle.
Malcolm, handoff, fullback. The ball is loose. The Hornets are on top of it. Rod Julian will pick up the loose football. He was just stuck And Klein was separated from the ball there, Coach.
Yes,
somebody got a helmet right on it.
I'm not sure he even had time to tuck it away that time, Pat. That tackle was there right now. I think Angola had a stun on that time up the middle.
Julian, the man who recovered the football. The ball is at the 13-yard line. Now the first possession of the second half for the Hornets, deep in their own territory. Lewis hands it off. Rod Julian. Julian cuts back against the grain, breaks 2 tackles, still on his feet. Like a man possessed, he will not be brought down. Terry Malcolm slowed him up, and then finally putting the finishing touch on was Chad Harshman. And Julian takes the ball all the way from the 12 or 13. He's out to about the 32, so he picks up close to 20 yards on that play, and Rod is shaken up. What an effort that time, Coach.
Oh, wow. He is just a hard runner. He did the same thing on a couple plays that first half. It's just very difficult for anybody to bring him down with just an arm tackle. He's a strong runner.
Julian receiving some attention on the field right now.
He's going to be all right.
With this timeout in play, gives us a chance to take a 30-second timeout. We'll be right, well, let's see, he's getting up on his own power. He is a very tough kid.
And when a coach pats him on the chest like that, you know one of a couple things happened to him out there, and he's going to be all right.
He wanted to stay in the football game, but due to the stoppage in play, he'll have to check out for at least one play. Checking in for the Hornets in his place will be Scott Temple, a junior. Temple 5'9" and 160 pounds. So the Hornets pick up a first down and gain a lot of field position on that one play. Gain of about 19 or 20. Matt Lewis sets him down. Handoff right up the middle. That is Nate Hatton. Hatton grabbed around the legs by Travis Andrews. Bob Lapidot down there as well. And also defensively, Phil Geating.
And Geating is a strong kid. I saw him warming up at halftime with Klein. Klein evidently wanted his shoulders loosened up. I thought Geating was going to knock him off. All they were doing was just hitting each other's shoulders, and he is a well-built kid.
5'10", 230. It is, let's see, is that Temple or Army? Army on the carry that time. It's hard to tell. They're both about the same size. We're number 8 and number 5, but it was Ben Army on the carry that time. Army is lightning quick. He's only 5'6" and 140.
Well, we haven't seen Angola come back with that sweep yet that they ran so effectively down near the goal line for their touchdown. If they're in the I formation here, look out.
3rd down, 7 to go. Nate Hatton out to the right. Excuse me, to the left. Jared Price to the right.
There it is.
In the I formation. There's that sweep to Barry. And Barry cuts around. He shoves out of bounds shy of the first down.
Well, that seems to be their bread and butter when they have to have the yardage, Pat. And although they didn't quite get it that time, I don't think it's going to be close.
Let's see where it was on the near sideline. We were blocked out by the Railroader bench. It is shy of the first. Timeout called by the Hornets. We'll take a timeout as well. Don't you go away. 7-6. Hornets lead it by a point. We'll be right back. His offense about this 4th down play. Bob Wyant talking to the Garrett Railroader defense. 4th down and a yard. And the ball at the 42-yard line. The Hornets will go for it in this situation, Coach. Here, a little bit risky.
Well, let's see what kind of formation they come out in.
Garrett has to be careful that they're not drawn off sides.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Zero in on that line of scrimmage. And it's a handoff fullback. He stuffed it. Oh, boy. Shooting through, making the initial hit was the big fella.
I don't think they got it, Pat.
John Hall just made a big-time play there, Coach.
In fact, I think they lost yards on it, Pat.
When you got a guy that's 6'4", tips the scales at 285, and he can move that quick,
yes,
he can hurt somebody pretty bad. So a little risky play by the Hornets. They turn it over on downs. Garrett will put it in play at the 41.
Good time for a big play on a turnover.
Sees the momentum. Coach Mo thinks the same way. Pass downfield intended for Sadison. Look out! Intercepted. Was he in bounds? Price is there. They say his feet were in. Garrett Price with his second interception of the contest. He was the man who picked it off in the end zone. You know, Price isn't what you would call all that fast, Coach, but at 6'5", he is tough to throw over.
Yes, he really is. That was very well defended that time. He stuck with his receiver all the way and used the sideline as a second defender, and it was just in perfect situation.
Now the Hornets will put it in play at their own 13 again. That's where their last drive started. See what we have here. It's Mike Berry running left. Defense is there. He is hit and hit hard. Jeremy Dembicki put a helmet on him first. He had help from a lot of friends. Perry was over there. Also in defensively was Geeting. Harshman was also there. Gain of about 2. Second down, 8 yards to go. We are in the third quarter of action, 5:45 to go. There's been no scoring here in the second half. The only scoring coming in the second quarter, each team getting a touchdown. The only difference in the contest, a missed extra point. Army, very quick, slashing runner, and he is going to be wrapped up, tripped up by Andrews, finished off by Geeting. But boy, you can see the shiftiness and the quick feet of that young man.
When you're a big old lineman in there, those kind of guys scare you, I'll tell you.
He is.
He is just really like a little fly or little gnat in there, just darting back and forth.
Let's see the play call here. Third down. 5 yards to go for a first. The ball just inside the 20. They need to get just inside the 25. Backs are split in the backfield. It's a handoff. Julian, he hit hard. Let's check the number of that young man. I think it's Malcolm.
He's got enough for the first, I believe, though, Pat.
Malcolm or Worcester, couldn't tell. Quite a pop by that youngster, though. But Julian got up on his own and picked up the first down, which is what he wanted.
Garrett defense is really hitting hard.
Both sides of the football.
Yes, they are.
Every play is being contested.
I really like the integrity of the offensive line for Angola. They maintain their splits, their offensive splits, if you'll watch them.
Julian is wrapped up around the ankles. And the man there is Harshman on the tackle. Chad Harshman, 5'11", 235, playing good football here in the second half.
They have a very disciplined style to their offensive blocking, and they do it almost every play, especially when they're in that T formation.
Nearing the 4-minute mark. Backs in the I formation. Hatton to the right, Price to the left. Hand off to Army. Army running behind his fullback is put to the deck by, guess who, Coach? John Perry. He just puts that exclamation point on his tackles.
He sure does. And it's good to have a kid like that out there as when you're a defensive coach. You know that there's someone that those other kids can look to, and that really sets the mood for them.
Another big play, third down, 5. Hornets have kept the ball on the ground. They have not completed a pass yet in this contest. There have been 5 turnovers to date. The backs in the I formation. Pitch to Barry, running behind Julian. Barry has the first down. He breaks the tackle. Barry, no one's going to catch him from behind. He's at the 30, the 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown, Mike Barry. I see no flags.
That's the first time we've seen that sweep to the left side, Pat.
66 yards, Mike Berry on the touchdown. Now a late flag.
That could be on Garrett.
The flag thrown at about the 34-yard line is where it's resting right now. I think he was already clear there. Oh, no, Angola looks upset.
Oh, boy, they could have been outside that little zone over there that they're supposed to stay in. It's on the bench, I think.
Well, if it's on the bench, the touchdown will count. And Garrett is walking towards the end zone, so I believe it is going to be a 66-yard touchdown regardless of the penalty.
Probably be assessed on the kickoff.
But what a run. Lapidot had a chance at him, took a dive, but Berry is so quick, Coach.
Is there any doubt about what their bread and butter is? It's that sweep. They must really work hard on that sweep.
Well, when you got a kid as quick as Berry, and you got a fullback like Julian. Julian's not huge by fullback standards, 185 pounds, but he's so strong.
And he's not afraid to hit anybody.
Oh, he's a great blocker. 66 yards unofficially. The referees explained something to Coach Mo about the penalty as well. Schmidtman on for the point after. This is a big PAT. 13-6 is our score. Garrett can block this. They would be within a touchdown and an extra point. If Angola makes it, Garrett would need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So this is a big play. Snap down, kick up, looks... Oh, it hit the uprights and went through. He shook the uprights on that one, but it went through, and it's 14-6 Hornets. We're back in 30 seconds.
You're a decision maker, sir.
You bet I am.
At Garrett High School, the Hornets crowd electrified after a 66-yard touchdown run by Mike Berry. Unsportsmanlike conduct stepped off against Angola on that touchdown, so they're going to kick it off from their own 25, a 15-yarder. So Garrett should get excellent field position. The score is now 14-6. The Railroaders a touchdown and a 2-point conversion away. A lot of football games still to be played. Ben Lash to kick it away, puts the toe into this one. It's going to be taken again by Smith. Smith will bring it up to the left side. Look, he's got a seam. Smith is on his way down the sideline. And he's into the end zone, touchdown. There is a flag back at the 41-yard line.
We had a clip back here, Pat. It was a late call. I saw him do it, and then the referee didn't call it. And then I looked away and looked back, and he finally threw the flag. But and I didn't catch the number, but his head was not in front like it should have been, and I don't think the kid really could have made the tackle.
Well, that return covered about 65 yards or so, but they're going to bring it back. And the crowd dislikes that.
Well, that certainly doesn't take...
going wild if they would have scored that one.
Yeah. It certainly doesn't take anything away from the run by Tim Smith. That was outstanding.
Tim Smith making a name for himself, Coach.
Yes, he sure is. He wants to play.
That last drive by the Hornets, 7 plays, 87 yards. Of course, 66 of those 87 coming in one jaunt. So Garrett still going to have good field position, sort of, at the 26-yard line. But, boy.
Not quite like being in the end zone, though, is it?
Garrett has had some tough breaks in this contest, Coach.
Yeah, they sure have.
Down at the 1-yard line, the interception thrown. Then another interception at the 13-yard line, and then a touchdown called back. Backs in the I formation. New fullback in there, bringing it around the other end, and let's check the number of that ball carrier.
4.
And the carrier that time is Greg Thrush.
He came up out of that slot position, Pat. That was a little slot back around. Little misdirection by Garrett.
Lost a yard, 2nd down and 11. Malcolm pitches to Staley. Klein in front. Klein with a good block, and Staley's out of bounds close to a 1st down. Difficult for us to see all that way across the field to where he was knocked out of bounds. The referee signaling, he's going to be about 3 yards shy or so. Ball now at the 34-yard line.
Well, it looks like both teams have discovered bread and butter at the corners, and they're exploring it to their fullest.
3rd down, a long 2 to go for a first. Malcolm will fumble the football. Terry got back on it.
That was a quarterback-center exchange problem that time.
And a very costly play there, Coach, because it's now 4th down, and Coach Moe will have to send on the punting team.
Yeah.
A loss of 2.
I don't think Coach Moe's too happy right now.
So Thrush on to punt. The ball at the 33-yard line. Minute 43 to play here in the 3rd quarter. 14-6. Hornets on top in this football game. Thrush to punt from about his own 20. And he dropped the football. He picks it up. Is he going to be able to get it away? No, he running, and he's going to be brought down at the 21-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Well, we talked about whoever made the big mistake, Coach, and the Railroaders have made a couple of big mistakes in this contest. That one, we'll see if that costs them.
Well, that hurts. There's no question about it.
Angola will put it in play deep in Railroader territory at the 21. First and 10, Hornets. Railroaders need a defensive stop or a turnover of their own. Julian on the carry that time, and Rod picks up a couple. Hornets want to march this one in, get themselves a 2-touchdown lead. Certainly could change the complexion of this football game. Right now, just one score and a 2-point conversion separates. But if the Hornets can put it in here, it certainly would make it tough on the big train. Lewis will hand it off again to Julian. Julian cuts back towards the middle. Slashing type run that time by Rod Julian. He's close to a first down. Let's see where they spot the football. These Hornet running backs looking awfully good. Shy by a yard. 3rd down and a yard to go for a Hornet first down. 2 tight ends at the balance line, full house backfield. Handoff Barry. Barry, tough yard. Still got those legs churning. He has a first down. He's down to the 5-yard line.
Well, they've got Garrett's defense guessing a little bit right now with, by hitting him on the outside so strongly. They've shored that up, I think, and perhaps have allowed the inside to become a little weak.
Down at the 10-yard line, I should say. So it'll be a first down and goal to goal. The 3rd quarter will come to an end. 14-6 Hornets. They're threatening to add to that lead. 4th quarter action coming up next. The Hornet fans trying to cheer their team on to another touchdown. Angola leads at 14-6. They have the ball first down, goal to goal at the Garrett 10-yard line as we start this 4th quarter. Railroaders need to make something happen here, Coach.
Yes, they certainly do. They need to force a turnover or at least stop them. They can't allow them to get in that end zone again.
Angola took over the football at the Garrett 21-yard line following the fumbled punt snap. Bob Wyan has talked to his defense. Don Harter has talked to his offense. 2 ball clubs with a lot of veterans on both sides of the line of scrimmage. It's been a hotly contested ball game right now. The Hornets with the upper hand. Lewis looking over that defense. See, the ball is loose, and the Railroaders had it. Malcolm had it, and then he fumbled it. Worsler, I believe, then got on it.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, there's the turnover they need.
Well, we talked about the Railroaders needing to make something happen. Malcolm picked it up, started running with it, lost the handle of it. But here's a big turnover by the Hornets. Boy, we've had a lot of turnovers in this contest.
Well, I think that probably is a little characteristic of a game like this, Pat. You know, you just want to give it that second effort. You want to get out of the blocks before you get the ball. It's just that kind of a thing.
Now the Railroaders have 85 yards to go. And it's going to be a handoff to Klein. Boy, 2 players put him at a sandwich. King in there along with that Ellison. No gain on that play. Might have lost a hair. Second down and about 11 yards to go. Adam Sadison, he's the big play receiver. He'll split out to the left. Staley and Klein remain in the backfield. Malcolm pitches back. He's got Klein in front of him. Staley has an awful lot of speed. He's knocked out of bounds by Rod Julian. Julian is all over this football field, Coach.
Yes, he is. I'm not sure why Angola's not reading that. It's pretty obvious when they're going to run that. They run it out of that one formation, and you can see it coming. But Garrett is just executing it very, very well, and they've had success on that play almost every time.
Well, when you can get a 200-pounder like Jim Klein in front of Wade Staley, who goes 180 and very quick, a lot of good things can happen for your football team. And straight up the gut that time was Klein. Something funny happened on that play, Coach. I don't know what it was, but it didn't look like all the line knew about the cadence that time or something.
Yeah, something was out of sync.
Worsler checks into the contest. Checking out for the Railroaders is Scott Hoover. Sadison on the left, Worsler on the right. Both of those players are big play receivers. Klein and Staley again in the backfield. Malcolm looking for Sadison. He's chased out of the pocket. Malcolm in some trouble. He gets a good block behind. He's still on his feet. Looking downfield. He's going to put it up. He's got a man wide open.
Yes.
Nobody was near Sadison. He's on his feet at the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
That was just fantastic, Pat.
I guarantee you that was total ad-libbing by Adam Sadison and Terry Malcolm. You don't draw up a play like that.
Boy, oh boy, how quickly things turn around.
I didn't see who the player was, Coach, but someone saved that play for the Railroaders with a great block as they were chasing down Malcolm, and one of the Railroaders came back, and I could not see the number. Made a fantastic block.
Had to be.
And then I looked downfield, and Sadison didn't have anybody for about 15 yards around him.
Just about had to be one of the backs, or they would have been called for linemen being out of position. Now they'll have to go for two here, I think, Pat.
Yeah. That'll be a 72-yard touchdown pass to Adam Sadison.
Well, that's just what it's all about right there. That was just great ad-libbing, like you said, and what a tremendous effort by the part of Malcolm.
It's now 14-12, 10:20 to play. Timeout in action. 2-point conversion coming up after this 30-second timeout.
Get ready to save thousands on your next car at Bill Yoder Ford in Garrett. Save an extra $1,000 on any new F-Series pickup in stock. This 1990 Ford Ranger Super Cab is loaded and comes with an incredible price tag of just $99.95. And save thousands on a new 1992 Ford Crown Victoria, now just $16,988. So get on down to Bill Yoder Ford in downtown Garrett. Bill Yoder Ford, where they sell to sell again.
The entire complexion of this football game has changed. A 72-yard touchdown pass. The Hornets looked like they were driving for a touchdown that wouldn't necessarily have put the ball game away, but would have certainly given them a comfortable advantage. Now the big 2-point conversion.
There it is.
Pitch back to Staley. The pursuit is there. He breaks off the tackle. He's going to be stopped shy of the first down.
Oh, that was close, too.
Excellent effort. He broke off the tackle of, I believe that was Krebs. But he was stopped just shy. Checking, that was Norm King. But, Coach, the Railroaders cannot buy a point after.
Yeah, that'd be one of my major concerns, I would think, if I was Coach Moe, to somehow shore that up.
Well, we mentioned 1 week ago, 8 touchdowns, only 1 point after was successful.
Well, sometimes you get in one of those, psychological things. You just can't hardly get that ball across there for some reason, and then things will turn around, and you'll make 20 in a row. So.
Well, we're back to a dogfight of a football game. 14-12 is the score. Is this what we expected, Coach?
Oh boy, it's a good one. Well, I'll tell you what. Now, I don't know if the camera was on him or what, but after that last turnover, and of course they had the kickoff return called back, and then and Angola marched down. I saw Coach Moe going up and down that sideline, and every time he'd stop at a kid, the kid would back up 3 feet. I think he scared them into doing that right there. They didn't want to come off that field unless they scored.
Clausen kicks the ball, and it's taken at the 14 by Sutton. Sutton brings the return left. Sutton is very quick. He spins around before he's decked.
Boy, Angola's got some quickness.
Between just the two little ones.
Yeah.
Sutton
Army
22 and Army 8. Those two are like clones.
Oh, my.
Sutton is, I remember him from baseball. He's only 5'8", 140, and Army's 5'6", 140. And they're just lightning and strong for that size. Angola has it at their own 31-yard line. First down and 10. Tight end on the right side this time. Patton out to the right. Hand off Mike Berry. Berry pops off one. Won't let go of the second one. Let's check that. Is Lane Andrews. Andrews on the tackle. Just got a hold of him. Wouldn't let go. We're inside 10 minutes to play.
Well, I think Garrett's fired up now after scoring, and we could see anything happen right now.
Full house backfield again. 2 tight ends. Matt Lewis. And a handoff to Army. Army is going to be wrapped up by Travis Andrews. And then quick to the ball was Perry. Travis in there on the initial hit. Got a couple yards. Got about 4 on that play. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Big play right here. Railroaders want to force a punt, get that football back. Hornets want to answer the score by the Railroaders. It is Julian on the carry. Julian is going to be brought down by Lapadot and Perry right close to that flagstick. I'm not going to call this one. Let the referees bring out the change. It's very close. See, just by the way the ball is lined up on the field, and if the chains are correct on the sideline, it's going to be a little short.
Yes, I think he's a little bit short.
But you never know exactly how correct those are on the sideline.
That's right. You don't know how straight those lines are.
0 in on the placement here. And they're going to stretch it out. And now he got it by a hair. Oh, my goodness. A hair. Less than an inch, Coach. I've got the binocs cleared in on the football. Less than an inch. The tip of the football was across.
Well, John Hutton still puts a pretty straight line down on the field, doesn't he?
We knew it was going to be close.
Yeah.
First down, Hornets, 8:45. Clock begins to become a factor here. Back to the I formation. It's a pitch back. That sweep play again. Berry around the right side. Oh, tripped up by one of the Railroaders. Couldn't see who that player was that far across the field. Looked like Sadison may have been the man. He's shaking up a little bit, a little slow getting up. Heating was credited with the tackle that time. Gain of 9. Both teams have run the sweep well. Second down and a yard to go.
Here probably comes again.
It is that same play. Cutting it back up. Stop shy of the first down. Good tackle that time. Travis Andrews. Number 10. Travis coming up big. 3rd down and half a yard to go for a first. Boy, this has been a good football game.
Yeah, it sure has. It sure has been a hard-hitting high school football game anyway.
Well, with a 2-point differential, we shouldn't have to worry about overtime this week like we did last week. Let's watch that line of scrimmage. It's a handoff, fullback, first down. Julian charges for the first down. Brought down at about the 46. Boy, we're calling number 78 Geeting quite a bit in this second half, Coach.
Well, he is a man out there. I'm telling you, he's a very strong kid.
First down and 10. 7:27 and counting down. 14-12. Hornets with a 14. Railroaders with the 12. At Patton out to the left, Price to the right, back split in the backfield. It's Barry and Julian. The quarterback under center is Matt Lewis. Lewis hands off to his fullback, Julian. And Rod will stretch his body to pick up about 5 yards or so. Guess who's there again, getting up off the bottom of the pile? It's Geeting.
I tell you, that offensive line for Angola is doing a very good job. They have a very disciplined style to their blocking, and it's paying off in the late part of the game.
Well, both of these coaches really are good at teaching fundamentals. That's
Boy, they sure are, and you can see who's on those staffs. There's 3 ex-coaches, or coach or head coach.
Mike Barry's on his way, tripped up from behind by Adam Sadison, or else I think he would have gone, Coach.
Yeah.
Sadison just got a hand on him. But another first down, and Barry averaging 14.5 yards a carry coming in. He's not going to... Well, he did get that 66-yarder, so we'll have to total up his stats. He's over 100 yards. He had 54 yards at halftime on 13 carries.
Come on, defense.
So another 100-plus yard day for Barry. Railroaders need to stop the Hornets. And again, Rod Julian threw a big hole. That's one of the biggest holes we've seen up the middle.
Well, besides Coach Harter, who's been with them forever, you know, there's 2 ex-head coaches for Angola with Joe Sirk and Tom Saylor, and they've run this same system since Tom Saylor came there way back. It's been probably 20 years ago, or at least 15.
Lewis looks over to the defense. It's Barry again to the right. Lapidot and Andrews can't bring him down, and then he is going to be brought down. Worsler and Sadison there. You know, Worsler, he's not that big. But that was one heck of a hit.
Yes,
5'11", 160 pounds.
I think there was a couple of years that there were some coaches that was outside the system that were head coaches was a head coach at Angola. But for the most part, these guys have been together quite a while in one capacity or another. One of them the head coach and the other the assistant, and vice versa.
Hornets putting together an excellent drive. Handoff to Julian. He is running in traffic. 4 Railroaders had a piece of him. But he picks up a good 5-yard gain. 11th play of this drive for the Hornets. Began at their 31-yard line. They took it over at the 10-14 mark, and they've taken off nearly 5 minutes of this clock, Coach. There's only 5:18 and counting down to play. Railroaders, again, soon need to come up with that big play. Either force a turnover or make a defensive stop. Lewis, pitch to Barry. He's got 2 blockers in front of him. Barry around the right side. He is brought down inside the 10.
Well, they disguised it a little bit that time by running the sweep out of the power eye rather than the split eye. But I tell you, they sure do run that effectively. Barry does a very fine job of turning that corner.
First down, goal to goal. The Railroaders cannot afford to give up a touchdown and a point after. Barry did get out of bounds. That helps Garrett, stopping the clock with 5:01 to go. First and goal at the 4-yard line. Matt Lewis trying to engineer another touchdown drive. Handoff Barry. He's going to go in. Touchdown. Mike Barry from 4 yards out scores his 3rd touchdown of the night. And with 4:56 to play in this contest, if the Railroaders, if the Hornets put a point after up here, the Railroaders are going to have to do something pretty spectacular.
Yes, they are.
So Mike Barry, 3 touchdowns tonight against a very tough Garrett defense.
Other than that one play we saw to the left side, that sweep, that long touchdown, that second touchdown that they ran, they have been a right-handed team tonight. They have either run off tackle or swept that right side. They're very, very strong over there.
Here's the big point after. Down. The kick is going to be short. Oh, boy. Well, Coach, I may have said in error earlier when I said with a 2-point differential, we probably couldn't think about overtime. But now the touchdown and the missed point after, the Railroaders would love it overtime.
Yes, I think that's what they have to hope for right now.
We'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back.
The video place in Garrett is the
School, a large crowd, standing room only. And certainly they have been treated to a spectacular ball game, and we still have 4 minutes and 56 seconds to play. Railroaders trail it by 8, so they would need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Lash to kick this one off, end-over-end kick. Short kick hits at the 20. Worsler picks it up at the 17. Up the left side, no room there, and he's going to be brought down. But the Railroaders will put it in play at their own 35-yard line, it appears. The drive will start at 4:51 of the fourth quarter. First down and 10 Railroaders. 65 yards away from a touchdown and a chance to tie the ball game. Well, they do have plenty of time. Clock now ticking, 4:45 and going down. Reinl out to the right, Hoover to the left. The backs have been the same all night. Klein and Staley. Drop back to pass, but the screen is set up and incomplete. Pass thrown a little bit too far away from Jim Klein.
Didn't look like it fooled anybody anyway. There were 2 defenders there waiting for it, so probably just as well he dropped it. I think they'd have lost yardage.
That does stop the clock. 4:31 to play. 3 more players shuttle in for the Garrett Railroaders, coached by Greg Moe. Coach Moe has never lost to Angola. This is his 4th meeting. His Railroader teams have beaten the Hornets each of his first 3 years here. Malcolm will pitch it back. The reverse is set up, and Sadison oh my, is he popped. Rod Julian plastered Adam Sadison. We saw 2 bodies moving at full speed collide, and that's what happens. It's just gravity. Julian a little bit bigger, and he leveled Adam Sadison. Whoa. You could hear the pads jar all the way up here. Well, it's now 3rd down and 13. Railroaders really need a big play here.
Well, this is pretty evidently a pass play here.
Malcolm back to pass. He has protection. Look out from behind. He's hit as he throws the ball. It's going to fall incomplete. Hitting him from behind, the man we called quite a bit early on in the contest, Brian King. Haven't heard from him too much since then. He had a fantastic start to the ball game. Came up big there from his defensive end position, and the Railroaders will have to punt. 3:49 to go, so Garrett will have to punt and then make a defensive stop. 4th and 13, 3:49 to go. And the snap and getting this kick away. Sutton takes it at the 30, slips down. Did his knee touch? They say no. He picked up about 5 yards after that. So the Hornets will have it at their 35.
Got a flag here too, Pat. I'm not sure what that was.
Over on the sideline, well away from the play. Referee looking like an illegal push in the back. Just preliminary indication. Looked like one of the referees was signaling another referee. 3:39 to play. Ball at the 35 right now. It's going to be stepped off against Angola. Now the Hornets can pick up a first down or 2, and they can win this contest. Going to have a clip against the Hornets. Garrett trails it by 8, 20-12. We mentioned Coach Moe 3-0 versus Angola in his career at Garrett. 24-7 the score in 1989. 28-0 in 1990, a ball game Tim and I did here on TV 7. Last year was Garrett 33, Angola 12. It was especially those last 2 ball games much closer than the scores would indicate. But right now the Hornets own an 8-point lead. They'll put it in play 1st and 10 at their own 20. Clock ticking, 3:28 and counting down. Lewis hands this one off to Barry, and Barry's going to be swarmed on. See when the Railroaders begin to use their complement of timeouts. I don't know if they've called one in this half. I can't recall any off the top of my head, but
well, they certainly need to make a move defensively right now. They got to stop them. They can't allow even one first down. At the most, 2 would really just about finish them.
Well, the one thing the Hornet coaching staff no doubt stressing to their team, 2 arms around that football. Wrap it up, no turnovers here. It's a handoff to Army. Army is going to be brought down, but he picks up a first down. Situation there, Coach. Railroaders, they're in a gambling posture, no doubt. They're trying to strip the football.
Yes, that's right.
Which, you know, in the situation, you pretty much have to. So.
And then that's the reason sometimes they break tackles, because they're going for the ball rather than to wrap the man up.
2:40 and counting down.
31-yard line.
Of course, the Hornets will take as much time as they can in that huddle. 1st and 10. 2:30 counting down. Railroaders digging in. Lewis using his full 25 seconds of time. It's going to be a handoff to Julian. Julian is wrapped up by 3 Railroaders. Andrews along with Worsler and Malcolm bring him down, but he does pick up about 3 or 4. Looks like about 4 yards for Rod Julian. And 2:02 to play. 2:01, clock still ticking. Railroaders must have used a timeout, Coach. You think they probably
got to stop that clock pretty quick.
We're down to 1:50 to play. Second down. Well, they gave him a generous spot that time. He got close to 5 yards. The Hornets trying to salt this one away. One more first down would probably do it. Handoff to Army, hitting the backfield, but he breaks away before 5 Railroaders bring him down at the 39-yard line. And clock still ticking, Coach.
Well, evidently he's going to use them all right at the end.
I don't recall. I know that I recall Angola calling a timeout or 2, but perhaps one of those was charged to Garrett. 3rd down and about 2. The Railroaders need to stop them here. Force a 4th down. One of the biggest plays of the game right here in the football game. Handoff. Julian hit from behind. Who shot through? That was Jeremy Dembicki wearing number 43. He started the game wearing number 67, switched over to number 43. And Dembicki made a big play there, and now Garrett calls a timeout. 57 seconds to play. Timeout in action. We'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll be apparently punt the football away. Garrett, Coach, has been very proficient in the Mo era at doing one thing, and that is blocking a punt.
Well, if there ever was a time to block one, here it is.
That's exactly right. They have 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Sadison, a dangerous return man, also back deep.
They're in that Purdue punt.
Rod Julian to kick this one away. Good snap, good execution, good blocking. They came close.
That was close.
Takes it at the 24. Army chasing after him, and he's going to be brought down. Well, Army demonstrating his speed there, Coach, because we know how quick Sadison is. Army cut off the angle. All right, Garrett has 47 seconds. So Garrett's going to have a long way to go. They put it at the 26, check at the 27-yard line. 47 seconds to play. Burniston is in, Coach. Remember that play we saw earlier? We guessed perhaps setting up a double pass. He is a talented sophomore quarterback. We'll have to keep our eye on that situation. Also a receiver, apparently. Back to pass is Malcolm. He's being pressured. Puts this one up downfield. Look out! It's picked off. Hornets apparently will win this contest. Todd Sutton, the young sophomore, picks it off at the 46-yard line. The Hornet fans begin to celebrate across the way from us. And Todd Sutton picked that one off right down the middle. Good spiral on the football. But Sutton, who's very quick, we mentioned the only non-senior starting on defense for the Hornets, and he came up with a big interception.
Well, with all respect there, I think Malcolm had quite a bit of pressure, and not only that, I think he might have even been hit just as he threw it. So the ball could have been underthrown a little bit or overthrown.
Garrett will take a timeout here, and we'll take a timeout as well. Coach Mo has something to say to the referee. 20-12, Hornets, just 8. In high school, the Angola Hornets have come on the road and have played a whale of a football game. Both teams deserve to be credited with a fine football game here today. Two well-coached teams, two hard-hitting ball clubs, two teams dominated by seniors. veterans on both sides of the football. Clock ticking down, 7, 6, 5. The Hornet players now raise their fists, and the gun sounds. This one is in the books. The Angola Hornets have knocked off the Garrett Railroaders for the first time since Coach Greg Moe took over the program 4 years ago. Hard-fought contest. The two coaches will shake hands. Greg Moe shaking the hand of Don Harter. A lot of respect and admiration, I think, by both of these teams, Coach, because you cannot go through a contest such as this. There's going to be a lot of kids tomorrow morning who aren't going to want to get up out of that bed because they're going to be in some pain, and there's going to be a lot of ice packs being used.
Well, they sure had a lot of hard hitting out there tonight on both sides, and very well fought contest. It looks like Garrett went to the, like I mentioned to you before, at halftime, in the third quarter, that Garrett went to the well 4 times, only come up with a couple of buckets of water, and that was the difference right there, whereas Angola was able to pin up 3 on the board and keep them.
Exactly right. The Railroaders had some opportunities, but got to give the Hornets credit in their own right.
That's exactly
for making the big interception as well. And the Hornets celebrate, as well they should, a big victory for their program. The Railroaders the past 2 seasons have been co-champions of the Big School Division, Division I in the NECC, and they still have a shot at that. Hornets will have a tough ball game next week as they will travel to Lakeland. The Railroaders will travel, I believe, to Prairie Heights. They will take on the Prairie Heights Panthers in that contest. We certainly want to thank our camera crew tonight. Dan Martin on the down camera up top was Scott Lilly. For the coach, Tim Albert, Pat Hoffman, time to say so long for this week. Certainly appreciate our sponsors making this contest possible, and also would like to thank Athletic Director John Hutton and the Garrett.
A few words with us. He promised to be here, so we'll see if that occurs. But right now, Coach, we're in pretty good spirits this morning. Angola going down to Garrett, and I know the folks at Garrett maybe are hurting a little this morning, but Angola with a big victory. It's been a long time that Angola has come away with a victory, particularly at Garrett, and you did it last night, 20-12.
Well, I thought I can't say enough about the way the kids played last night. We knew we were in for a heck of a ball game when we went to Garrett, and then on top of everything, it was homecoming for them, which made it that much tougher to win. So from that standpoint, it was a very difficult ball game. It was a hard played ball game on both ends. I know both teams, first time we had the ball, first time Garrett had the ball, defensive team certainly had the better of the play at the outset of the ball game. You know, Garrett's defense, I really thought, took it to our offense to start with, and it looked like we were going to have some serious difficulty moving the ball. And our defense came right back out when Garrett got the ball, and I either forced the turnover or forced the punt right away. So that was positive from that standpoint, Dave.
Well, a lot of positives last night. The defense played well and set the tone once again, and I think your philosophy is a correct one, that you win ball games and win championships with defense, and your team certainly has done that. You look at the statistics, and a lot of things jump out. You had a lot of players in the 6 to 8, 5 to 8 tackles, multiple players, 7 or 8 players in that category, and I tell you, that's an outstanding effort for the team defensively.
Well, our philosophy going into the ball game was that Garrett's such a good football team that we knew we weren't going to keep them completely from moving the football, and the thing we tried to do was to limit the number of big plays that they had. As it turned out, the 2 scores they did get came about as a result of 2 long pass plays. In fact, the one was a touchdown, and the other one set up the first touchdown. So, you know, I told the kids going in that Garrett was going to have some of those big plays, but what we had to do was to limit that, try to control the ball as much as possible. And I think the thing that really stands out for us is the fact that in the second half, I think we hold Garrett to 55 yards total rushing, so that was a big plus for us. I thought our 2 defensive tackles, Brewster and Ellison, had an outstanding game, especially in the second half. Garrett did move the ball against us in the first half with their inside trapping game, and Coach Saylor made some adjustments in the tackles, and as a result of their better play, we sort of shut down their inside game, and then they were forced to go to the option, which at times we covered pretty well, and at times we didn't. But I thought overall it was an excellent effort on the part of our defensive personnel. Like you say, we spread the tackles around quite a bit. I see the 2 leading tacklers again were Julian and Hatton, which we expect those 2 kids at middle linebacker positions to make the most tackles, and they did that. They both had outstanding games. Our secondary played pretty well, even though they gave up a couple big plays. It's tough. I thought Malcolm threw the ball real well, especially the touchdown pass to Saddison. I mean, I thought we had him twice and missed him. He got away from us, and then Jared Price leaves his man and starts up to contain him, and they throw over the top of him, which is going to happen, and that led to a touchdown. But Todd Sutton, the sophomore kid, picks up a key interception towards the end of the ball game, which gave us the final possession again and gave us a chance to run the clock out. Jared Price made 1 interception in the end zone and one later on that was at a key point in the ball game after we had gone for 4th and 1 and didn't make it somewhere around midfield. So that was a major turnover for us, and the nice thing about that, the kids just didn't let down after some things went poorly for us.
Well, I think some credit goes to you and your staff for preparing the kids that way. Mentally, at least this week, I think you instilled in them that you're going to face a good football team Friday night and that they're going to make some big plays and they're going to score some points, and all you have to do is hang in there. And I think that's the credit to your staff.
Well, thank you very much, David. And, you know, I can't say enough about that staff with Coach Saylor running the defense, and Coach Shirk, of course, handles the defensive secondary, and then Coach Gentry handles the 2 interior people that we play in there. So I thought the defense has really played well for us all year, and I think it's sort of set the tempo for things, and it allowed us time last night. Our defense played well enough until our offense got on track so that we were able to get some yardage.
Well, Garrett and Angola, you have to give a lot of credit to Garrett as well. I think you make a good point there. Garrett's a fine team. They have a fine program. Their coach is certainly dedicated to his program, and it was just a good ball game last night. So it was not a fact that Garrett played poorly, I can guarantee you that. It was just a good ball game, and anybody could have won it. Angola beating Garrett. Tom, I think you've got some other scores for us, or some area of interest.
Of course, the Angola score at 20-12 was the big one for us last night. But in the area, Central Noble over Fremont 46-0. East Side, which played Fairfield, our first opponent, came away with a 21-6 victory. Lakeland 18-6 over West Noble. Prairie Heights, who we're going to see here very shortly, came up on a 27-26 win over Churubusco. So Lakeland coming away with a victory, Prairie Heights coming away with a victory, and those are the two next opponents for the Angola Hornets.
Well, Fremont, of course, struggling this year, and we've all been in that position in your profession at one time or another, Coach, so they're having some problems. But that's a big win for Prairie Heights last night. They got a new coach out there, new staff, and I'd have to say that's a big win for them over Churubusco.
Oh, without question, this McLaughlin kid, the quarterback from Churubusco, is probably one of the premier quarterbacks, at least in northern Indiana, throws the ball extremely well, and that's got to be a big boost to their program. I know Coach Potts out there has really tried to turn that situation around, and I always feel like you have to have a little bit of success. One of the fortunate things that happened when I took the job over at Angola was that we got that first win against Fairfield. It was a real tight ball game, but sometimes if that first win doesn't come right away, it's a lot tougher to keep kids going. So this had to be a major win for Prairie Heights in that ball game.
Well, Coach, let's talk about some general philosophy that you and I have talked about over a period of time where your program is concerned. Last night's ball game, it's a conference game, of course, and what you and I at least thought it might be an indicator as to how far your kids have come and how far your program has come. And if the effort last night is any indication, you passed that test with flying colors.
Well, we've always based our program on a great deal of intensity. My staff is very intense. I'm quite intense, and certainly that ball game, the game itself lends itself to an intense type of format, and to be very honest with you, if you're going to compete against people like Garrett, and I know Coach Mo over there is a very intense individual as well, and they've got an excellent program. So just given the nature of the ball game, you know, in order to compete at the level we hope to compete at this year, it was very much essential for us to play well. I'm not sure that it was essential for us to win the ball game last night, but the thing I wanted to do was come out and hit with Garrett and be very competitive with Garrett, and we were able to do that, and that's probably the first year that we've been able to do that. I mean, this is the third time that I've been the head coach and attempted to defeat Garrett, so it's been a long time coming, and our kids approached the ball game with that in mind, and you know, I'm sure the Garrett kids approached the ball game with that in mind. I mean, when we got done with the ball game last night and I finally got into the locker room, it looked like we'd been through a war. I mean, it didn't look like people wanted to play another 2 plays, let alone if you'd had to go into an overtime.
But what I seem to feel coming over to the locker room after the ball game, is particularly in the eyes of the seniors, was a real feeling of accomplishment. That you know, they had had enough of Garrett, if you will, on the losing side, and they felt that they had accomplished something, and the hard work that they have gone through the last couple of years had seemed to paid off at that point.
Well, one of the things that certainly changed this year, Dave, was just the fact that that in the past, the last 2 years, if you look at those 2 ball games, and I'm not sure that the scores are that indicative. We got beat the first year, I was the head coach, 28-0, and then last year we got beat 33-12. Well, at the end of the third quarter last year, it was 12-12. So I think the ball game was much closer, but both of those ball games hinged on turnovers. I mean, we had some bad punt snaps. We had some blocked punts a year ago, and as a result, it led to our loss. Now, Garrett had a bad punt snap in the first half last night, and it led to a score for us, and they had some turnovers that were very costly inside the 10-yard line. I thought our goal line defense played well, but by the same token, you can't always coach away from those turnovers. So it was a situation where the breaks seemed to go our way last night, which I think sometimes that's an indication of a good football team. Good football teams have breaks go their own way.
Okay, thanks, Coach. And again, we're glad you could join us this morning on Coach's Corner. We want to thank, again, Steve Soames and his crew down here at Harold Chevrolet, and they do a nice job making us feel at home, and we appreciate that. In the second part of our show, we're going to have Mike Berry and Mark Nagel, a couple of outstanding performances from them last night, and we'll have some highlights for you to look at, so stay with us. This is Coach's Corner on TV 7.
Chevrolet, Oldsmobile.
Corner, and we, as promised, have a couple of players with us here, Coach, and you might set up the interview, if you will, with these two outstanding performers.
Well, we have Mike Berry and Mark Nagel with us today. Of course, Mike has been a 3-year, almost a starter. 2 years ago, he was alternating with Jason Tuttle, who was our premier running back at that time. But even that year, Mike, I think, had 100 carries and went for 600 yards. So he even had an outstanding year as a sophomore. Then last year, of course, he went with 1,153 yards, was one of the principal reasons why we got to the sectional championship. And this year, Mike is, I thought the game last night, I thought it was the most outstanding game. I told him I thought it was the most outstanding game he's had of his career, simply because of the opponents that he was playing. Part of the reason why he was that successful is certainly I thought our offensive line in the second half did an outstanding job blocking. Mark Nagel, we had in a pro set last night, and we had to split into his side, which is somewhat unusual, which sort of leaves the defensive end on Mark. Mark did a great job on him, and he was one of the main reasons why we were able to turn that corner last night and go for the big plays down the sideline.
Let's talk to Mark Nagel first. And Mark, talking to the coaching staff, they tell me that there's no one that will work harder than Mark Nagel and to improve himself, and it's all coming together now as a senior. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, the whole team worked real hard over the last 2 years to improve, and we're all working real hard all the time trying to improve ourselves, and I'm just hoping to get myself to a point where we can really block anybody. So I'm really working hard, I think. But
well, your personal assignment, if you will, last night, the defensive end that you played against, you might mention that just a moment. You, in the coach's mind at least, fairly much neutralized that position last night, and it was a concern for the coaching staff going in.
Yeah, last night, the whole night, John Hall was across from me, and he's the biggest person I've ever played against. He's, I think, about 6'5", 290 pounds, and he's a really big guy. And the first series I came out, and really almost the whole first quarter, didn't play real well against him, and then after that I got my head in the game, and I thought I played really well against him for the rest of the game.
Well, also, Mark, I know a little bit about you. You pretty much epitomize the term student athlete. You do an excellent job academically, and you're an orator of some fame, if you will, out at Angola. You might tell the fans a little bit about that.
Well, through 4-H, I've given a lot of speeches, and last year I won the state public speaking contest, and I've given that speech to some organizations around town, Kiwanis and Lions and whatnot.
Well, thanks for joining us this morning, and fans, I think you can see just by talking to some of the players that we've had on why this is becoming a successful program at Angola. In spite of the fact that the coaches do a good job, there's a good group of kids here. Okay, hand it over to Mike Berry. And Mike, for 3 weeks, we could have had you on all 3 weeks. I mean, you're the leading ground gainer for the Hornets and have done a good job, but last night's performance, as Coach Harter says, I think stands out just because of the outstanding defense that you played against. Your comment, and tell the fans maybe how you feel this morning after getting a little battered and bruised at Garrett last night.
Yeah, it was pretty hard coming off the 2 first victories. They were a little bit easier than Garrett. Yeah, this morning I don't feel too great, but they played tough and we played tough, and whatever happened, happened, and it was quite a long game. It took quite a while to make plays, and your yards came pretty hard, and you didn't really notice until afterwards when someone tells you that you got this many yards, because I had no idea.
Well, early in the ball game, it was obvious that Garrett was keying on you every snap. Were you aware of that as well?
Yes, in the T formation we went quite a bit. Nathan Hatton and I would switch back and forth quite a bit because we knew whatever side I'd go to, you could hear the defense calling what play, and Nate and I would usually fake that play and let Rod Julian run it up the middle and got out 6-7 yards on the ground. So it was not really obvious, but you could really tell that they were.
Mike, your performance again last night certainly stands out, and we congratulate you for that. I want to ask you one final question. I know all of us, myself included, when we grow up, we have idols that we look up to in our respective sports and so forth, and I think you have one as well at that running back position, if you want to let our fans in on that.
I'm not really sure what you're talking about, Dave, but...
Oh, now. Little Chicago Bear, maybe, at one time,
well,
that you have come to respect and try to...
I used to like the way Walter Payton used to run, but it's been a long time since I've seen him play, so I can't really tell you who it is now. Maybe Barry Sanders, the way he stays on his feet, keeps it going, but I don't watch too much football because I got other things to do.
Well, congratulations to both of you. We want you to stick around as we're going to go to the highlights here. We might ask you to comment on a couple of these plays. We're going to see Mike, of course, running some, but the first highlight we're going to have is going to be, Coach, you were in a deep hole here as Garrett was pretty much shoving it down your throat in the first quarter there, and it looked like they were going to get the first score of the ball game early on, and Price came up with a big defensive play.
Well, Jared did just an outstanding job out of that goal line defense to cover that outside play. We had some trouble with that last year, as a matter of fact. So, you know, they went with play action. It would have been easy to get sucked in on it.
Here's something we saw a lot of, Rod Julian off the left side.
That's just our simple fullback slant, and Julian really did an outstanding job. And he had over 100 yards last night, which was a great thing for us. This is our 24 on G, which Mike scored on, I think, in the first half and put us up at that particular point. So it was a real good run. He had Norm King out in front of him.
Look at the defensive hit by Hatton there.
An outstanding hit by Hatton, and I think we get a fumble recovery there. And again, they're deep in our territory, so it was a major turnover.
Let's look at that one again in slow motion. And Hatton with the hit and Julian recovering the fumble. Boom.
It's just like you draw it up on the board, and you know, I haven't been able to say enough about both of those kids inside. Rod Julian and Nate Hatton are just outstanding kids and really come to play.
That's good defense right there. Here's the guy that got you out of a little trouble after making a call at 4th and 1 and not getting it. Well, wait a minute. That's Julian on the run.
That's Julian again.
Now I'm in trouble.
That's the same play. That's a fullback slant. Yeah, you're trying to give me a bad time here. So hard to.
I got so excited over that one.
I'm trying to forget that punt.
There's the pass interception by Price that bailed you out. How about
that? Fair enough. It bailed me out, whatever you want to say.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Here's the big one of the ball game. Mike Berry breaking it off the left side for 71 yards.
This is the 24 on G. We just set Mike out there. Again, Rod Julian got an outstanding block, and Michael just turned it loose down that sideline. I thought 2 or 3 kids had him. In fact, the kid hit him early, and he was able to keep right on going and finish the play. So that was probably the best run of his career.
Now, Garrett was stacking that one up, and it opened up big time. And what a play that was for Angola.
And here's the play that led to Sadison getting that touchdown. We were fortunate we had anybody there. Jared Price came up on it. My savior came up on that one and tried to contain him. That's why he threw it over the top. But
okay. And that was a big play in the ball game as well because Garrett was back in it at that point. Now we got Mike Berry again on a run off the right side.
This again is our 24 on G where we're pulling that guard to the split end side. In fact, we just put that play in this week.
Rod Julian up the middle.
That was the nice thing about last night. We had a lot of balance on the outside and in the inside. Julian ran the ball real well on the inside, and that certainly helped us. This is just our off-tackle play. The only thing I said to the kids, I said, we're going to go for it on this off-tackle, and I said, just stick it in the end zone, and Mike took it in there behind Nate Hatton and Rod Julian again.
Here's one of many hits by Rod Julian. Just watch this one.
This was their reverse, and Norm King played that play real well, and then Rod came up and cleaned up on it. So we had them well scouted, and the kids played real well.
And here's the one that wrapped it up for you after Garrett was trying to, as a last-ditch effort, the interception by the sophomore Todd Sutton.
And again, we had good pressure there from Brian King, and I'll tell you, that Sutton kid is probably as cool a sophomore as I've ever coached. I mean, he's very composed in all situations, and has just done a great job for us. He's been really a pleasant surprise.
Well, after that interception and a couple of more plays, it was a celebration time for the Hornets, and Angola wins it 20-12. We want to thank our players for being with us, Mike Berry and Mark Nagel. And, Coach, we'll be back after these messages with final comments. This is Coach's Corner on TV 7. Rex Bollinger. Rex, a little bit of the success, of course, in any program goes to administration, and I know you don't want to grab the spotlight, but just let the fans know a little bit about what your feelings are concerning the success of this football program the last couple of years.
Well, I think it's pretty evident, Dave, when you take a look at things that have been happening the last couple of years particularly, and some prior to that, but so much credit goes to the coaching staff, and I think the philosophy that's set there for the students and the athletes in general as far as setting some high expectations and goals and things, and following through with that with a lot of organization and caring about kids, and it comes together to show what you saw last evening, and I think an outstanding performance. So there's many people that deserve some credit.
Well, I have a friend who's a principal at Anderson High School, and he says when our athletic teams, particularly basketball down there, he says, do well, it makes our school year a lot easier. I don't know if that is any different up here or not.
You know, we've had a lot of success this fall, and all of our athletic teams and organizations seem to be off to a great start. Probably one of the best starts to a school year I've seen, and that's to the credit of the faculty and students at Angola High School, and things like happened last evening certainly do a lot to help that.
And you have a program that you want to tell us about just briefly, I believe.
I'm going to put on a little different hat right now, and that of a Angola Park and Recreation board member. And the park board is going to do a little something different this fall and join with the state park and recreation boards and offer a pump, pass, and kick contest to our local youngsters. Students who are 8 years old up to 13 can be involved in a pump, pass, and kick contest that's going to happen next Saturday out at the football field area. And it will start at 10:30, and Coach Harter is going to have several athletes out there to help us organize that, and there are going to be folks from the park board and other city agencies that are going to be out there, and we're not sure just how many participants we're going to have right now. We could have 40 or 50, or we might have 200 or 300, and we hope we have a lot. Boys and girls are all welcome, and they get to punt one, pass one, and kick one for distance and accuracy, and we'll measure those. And our winners are going to be featured at halftime of the East Side game and also our Prairie Heights homecoming in 2 weeks. So we think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm sure Coach Harter will be there watching for some future prospects probably.
Okay, so all you youngsters interested in that, get out there next Saturday at 10:30 at the football field at Angola. And Coach, we've got a few minutes left. Next week it's Lakeland, and certainly you would think that there would be a chance for a letdown here after that big victory last night.
Well, that was the one thing that I said to them as soon as I got into the locker room last night, that the Garrett win, as big as it was, means very little if you don't come back next week and take care of business when we have to go to Lakeland. Lakeland's a very tough football team. They always play us tough over there. We beat them over there 2 years ago, and then last year I thought probably we had a little better football team than they did, and they still came down to Angola and beat us on homecoming. So we got some scores to settle that way. They got some excellent running backs. I know Moriarty is one of the leading backs in the conference. He had close to 200 yards after the first ball game. So I know Coach Bowser over there has gone to a wishbone this year, which is going to present some problems of its own. So we've got a major adjustment to make, and we'll start in on it today. We're swapping films today, and we'll just get right back into it today and tomorrow and get prepared for Lakeland this next week.
Well, after the bumps and bruises of last night, you may need an extra day or so to heal up, too.
Well, we're planning on probably a film day on Monday, and then, of course, we got a reserve game on Monday over at Garrett again. So I was going to cut in a little bit to our practice time, but we're looking forward to going over to Lakeland, and this is the first time that we have gone 3-0 since I took over the job as the head coach at Angola.
Well, congratulations on the victory last night. It was a big one, fans. What a pleasure it is to go to a ball game like that and see two well-coached teams play. And I tell you, it's fun for the fans. And if you're in your profession, Coach, it had to be fun for you. And congratulations again.
Thank you again, David.
Okay, we want to invite you to join us next Saturday, or next week, I should say, depending on when you're viewing this. And we'll be back again to have Coach Harter. We're hoping to have Coach Dillbone from Fremont next Saturday also to get some comments from him. So be with us next Saturday for the Coach's Corner on TV.
TV7 is now seen in northern Allen County on Triax Cable. We're growing, and we're looking for an ambitious person to join.
Casting the future of America, and by National Magnesium and Aluminum Foundries of Fort Wayne.